Lights out, they charge towards the first turn, particularly Scott Redding, who's eager to cut across the front of Michael van der Mark. It's green versus red into turn one. Ray gets across to take the whole shot. It's up into second position. Scott Redding still defending against Michael van der Mark. Alvaro Bautista's away well. Then it's Michael Ruben Rinaldi. He's cut his way through very nicely in the early stages. Chaz Davies is still up there in seventh position. Razgatlioglu is the next man for him to attack. Rinaldi on the tail of Bautista, charging hard. Rinaldi on the inside line defends successfully against Razgatlioglu. Baz was attempting to make background further down the order. He's been pushed down to 10th position at this stage. Three riders all in the mix here. Razgatlioglu diving late down the inside of Rinaldi, gets through. Rinaldi will try to come back down at him on the inside line, close between van der Mark and Redding for second position as well. Davies going a little bit deep there on the tail of Rinaldi. We'll see who can make a manoeuvre as we come out of turn 10 and in towards 12. The sweeping left-hander there, still close between Redding and van der Mark. We ride on board now with Scott Redding.
Yeah, for van der Mark, he needs to try and be aggressive, see if he's able to make a move in these early stages. We know the Ducati's going to be strong on that back straight, but good start from van der Mark to be able to consolidate that front row start. A few bad starts, so Chaz Davies actually quite slow off the line initially, recovered all right, only lost a couple of spots. Alex Lowes lost a lot of places. He went from the second row of the grid down to 12th in that opening lap. He's picked up another spot now though.
Work to do then for the likes of Alex Lowes. Good battling further down the order involving Leon Haslam as well, tussling with Loris Baz. That's over 8th position. Back up at the front, Michael van der Mark has been stalking Scott Redding so far, and that's enabled Jonathan Ray to escape away. Bautista with plenty of pace down that back straight, didn't get far away from making his manoeuvre on the Dutchman for third position. So all of the front runners in the mix at present. Razgatlioglu there or thereabouts. The only man who might be a little bit disappointed of that lead group, Chaz Davies, who remember started from 5th place and is now in 7th, although maybe not for much longer. He looks to the inside of Michael Ruben Rinaldi and comes through for 6th.
Yeah, good move from Chaz. That's exactly what he has to do on the number 7 machine. Now he needs to make sure he's able to pick off Top Rack Razgatlioglu on the 54, because for Chaz Davies, he does not want to be able to give Jonathan Ray and Scott Redding at the front any sort of margin. Looks like Michael van der Mark's got a good run there, and Scott Redding as well down into 4 and 5.
Van der Mark attacking Scott Redding, couldn't quite get alongside to make the manoeuvre up the inside line, and still the top 4 are unchanged from the starting grid, although we have seen plenty of jostling and plenty of overtaking opportunities at very least. Davies eager to ensure that Jonathan Ray doesn't escape away out in front. Ray's got 6/10 of a second advantage over Scott Redding at present. Van der Mark, Bautista, Razgatlioglu, Davies, Rinaldi, Haslam all bottled up directly behind.
And you can see from Davies, he knows that he needs to make these moves quickly. Jonathan Ray at the front of the field, he's pulled out another 3/10 of a second on this lap already. He's just under a second clear of the field. That's what Jonathan Ray has to do on the number 1 Kawasaki. You've got to make sure you're able to open that gap over the Ducati behind.
Here goes Chaz Davies down the inside of Razgatlioglu, who comes across and closes the door. He has been criticised at times, Top Rack, for the defence of his position. Nothing naughty there, as he just ensures with some late braking that he holds on to the place. Meanwhile, van der Mark is through on Redding for second position, and Bautista now is all over the back of Scott Redding. So this race is certainly not going as the number 45 would have hoped. Here comes Davies on the tail of Razgatlioglu. There's been a deficit for the Yamahas down that back straight compared to the Ducati all weekend. Davies exploits it. Even the last of the late breakers, Razgatlioglu can't hold on to position there. Chaz Davies is released and Redding is really struggling. Redding is tumbling backwards. Bautista's through. Razgatlioglu gets a better line there off the final turn on Chaz Davies, who sweeps across the block. Rinaldi's come past Razgatlioglu. Haslam's in the mix as well. Ray is 1.5 seconds clear, but it's all kicking off behind him.
Yeah, Jonathan Ray is gone now at this stage of the race. We know what Ray can do whenever he's got a clear track in front of him. Scott Redding struggling that lap around and losing a lot of pace.
Alvaro Bautista running in 3rd position, the treble winner from 2019. Things going exactly as he might have hoped in the early running. He's got Scott Redding behind him at the moment, bottling up the pack. Chaz Davies has certainly got the pace, but has he got the advantage over his own teammate? This is where it becomes more challenging for Davies against an undoubtedly evenly matched machine.
Well, the one thing for Chaz Davies is that last time around he was certainly a lot stronger on the exit of corners compared to Scott Redding. So the exit of turn 15, that's where Davies can make a move. He can also will try and make a move into turn 12 because Davis through this long left-hander is very strong. The one thing for him is he doesn't want to lose time behind Scott Redding because Toprak's right behind him as well.
With the long left-handers, turns 10 and 11 and in towards turn 12 where there might be an opportunity here for Chaz Davies. We're right on board now. For the moment at least, Scott Redding is able to defend his position, but as things stand on lap number 3, it looks like only a matter of time before Davies forces his way through. Could well be in the slipstream if he can get a good run coming off turn 15. We watch back now from Redding. The two Ducatis going at it. This is all for 4th position, and actually they'd be well served if they could get onto the tail of Van der Mark and Bautista in front, but Redding has hemorrhaged time and pace so far in this in the early running. Bautista looking to the inside on Van der Mark here for 2nd. Davies doing the same on Redding, who once again defends. He's been brilliant in defensive position through this season, but he's gone deep around the final 2 turns and Davies is finally through. Can Redding respond into turn number 1? Bautista up ahead is really all over the tail of Michael Van der Mark. Bautista ducks out to the inside line into turn 1. The Yamaha man closes the door, so still it's Van der Mark in 2nd, Bautista in 3rd. The change of position is Davies on Redding.
Yeah, Davies doing a really good job there, but Scott Redding just doesn't have the grip. We saw that's 2 laps in a row where he couldn't get the bike stopped on the run into that last corners and just ran in a bit too hot. So for Chaz Davies now, he needs to just break away from that, see if he's able to get right onto the back of Alvaro Bautista and then use the top speed of the Ducati to see if he's able to attack these 2 riders in front of him. The one problem is Bautista's fast in a straight line. He's got good grip underneath him right now as well with that SCX tyre.
Alvaro Bautista doing exactly as per the plan, setting off in the early stages as hot as possible on that softer tyre. And will he be able to stick with it in the second half of the race? That remains to be seen. For the moment, he's got to capitalise on his early grip advantage. Jonathan Rea leads us by 1.7 seconds over Michael Van der Mark in 2nd, who's having to fend off the attentions of Alvaro Bautista and Chaz Davies. Both of them will fancy their chance of putting the blue machine behind them. Then it's Scott Redding, who is getting reeled in here by Toprak Razgatlioglu and Michael Ruben Rinaldi. This could be disastrous in the context of the championship for Scott Redding. Here goes Davies down the inside of Alvaro Bautista, captures the Spaniard completely by surprise. Brilliant manoeuvre that from Chaz Davies.
Yeah, great stuff from Davies through there. Let's see if he's able to get close enough to Van der Mark now to try and attack into the last corner, but Chaz Davies opportunistic there, and that's what Davies can do whenever he's got good form. Just looking at Scott Redding's pace, Alec, it looks like he's just running the same pace as yesterday's race, whereas everyone else is finding a lot of time.
Look at Chaz Davies closing down Michael Van der Mark. And there goes the Ducati. They never know which way those red machines have gone, and when we watch on board it makes it look even more dramatic. Davies is through to 2nd, and Bautista might be able to inflict even more pain here on Michael Van der Mark as they head back down into turn number 1. Another man with a good top speed advantage, Bautista. For the moment he's tucked up behind the Dutchman, but 4th place for Bautista, having been picked off by Chaz Davies. Far from disastrous. It's Rea, Davies, Van der Mark, Bautista. Redding still there or thereabouts. A new personal best last lap around.
Yeah, it's 1.6 seconds between this man Chaz Davies on the number 7 Ducati and the race leader Jonathan Rea. So let's see if Chaz Davies is able to start reeling in those times from Jonathan. Yesterday's race, it was around this time where we started to see Chaz Davies get to the front of the 2nd group and try and just get his head down, close the gap down on Rea and Redding. Is he going to be a little bit closer now today? Is he going to have a little bit more confidence to go at it a little bit earlier and a little bit harder?